The WNBA is literally shut down right now. No trades, no signings, no business at all. And it's not because of some external crisis. It's because the players' union just pulled the nuclear option and banned all contact between players and teams. The same union leaders who spent 2 years trying to erase Caitlin Clark from the league are now demanding $2.5 million max salaries, while secretly building their own rival leagues. Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier are literally owners of competing basketball ventures while negotiating against the WNBA. The hypocrisy is insane. If the WNBA season is canceled, where do you think Caitlin Clark should play? Let us know down in the comments below.
Really thankful for, the training staff and player development and everybody that has kind of been there with me. They haven't taken a break either because they invest a lot of time and they want me to be successful. So I think for myself, it's not proving it to yourself again, but it's just that feeling. And I think it just made me smile quite a bit. I really did kind of feel like myself out there and just continuing to get my lungs back. But I felt like I was moving really well. So
the WNBA just finished the most successful 2 years in league history. Caitlin Clark brought millions of new fans through the doors. Arenas that used to sit half empty were suddenly selling out. Television ratings went through the roof. Corporate sponsors lined up to write massive checks. The league signed lucrative media deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Everything was working. Then the players' union decided to blow it all up. On January 9th, they let the collective bargaining agreement expire without a deal. The league immediately froze all business operations. No free agency signings, no trades, no player movement at all. Teams can't even make qualifying offers to their own players. The entire system just stopped working.
The news? Because NBA stars, there's a lot of them, and they move the needle. The WNBA stars, well, there's one that moves the needle. And here's the other thing to remember. Caitlin Clark's already rich. She made $11 million this year alone in endorsements off the court. So regardless of how these negotiations go, she's set. Nobody else is, right? So
here's what the union demanded that made ownership walk away from the table. They want a salary cap of $10.5 million per team. That's more than double what the league offered. They want maximum salaries of $2.50 million for individual players. The league's best offer was around $1.30 million, with potential to reach nearly $2 million over time. The union also demanded 30% of gross revenue, while the league countered with 70% of net revenue. These numbers don't even live in the same universe. The timing makes this whole situation absolutely ridiculous. Clark just delivered the biggest ratings boost in WNBA history. Attendance records fell every single week. New fans discovered the sport and fell in love with it. Corporate America finally took notice and started investing real money. The league was positioned to capitalize on unprecedented momentum and grow into something truly special.
And they suddenly in camp went, oh, we just found a new number one receiver. He's better than Cooper Kupp. They didn't fight it. Did you think when you watched Tom Brady at the Combine, that looked like the GOAT? They had just signed Drew Bledsoe to a $103 million contract. That was a lot of money back then. And then a year in there,
There's not so much complaining and whining going on this season. Instead, the union chose this exact moment to make impossible demands. Portland Fire and Toronto Tempo were supposed to join the league as expansion teams. Their expansion drafts are now on hold indefinitely. Nobody knows when these new franchises can actually start building rosters. Training camps face significant delays because teams can't finalize their player situations. Arenas are already booking other events for dates that were supposed to host WNBA games. The union leadership spent the last 2 years downplaying Clark's impact on the league. They consistently minimized her role in driving attendance and television ratings. Veterans and union representatives regularly dismissed the new fans Clark brought to the sport. They acted like the league's success happened despite Clark rather than because
They just don't like what the wave looks like. They wanted to fly private. They wanted to be more popular. They wanted a better deal in the CBA, which they'll get. They wanted sold out arenas. They got it. They don't necessarily think it should be this. But again, you can't fight it. You just never know what success looks like.
Here's what makes this even more frustrating.
now those same union leaders demand massive salary increases that only became possible because of the revenue Clark generated. They want $2.5 million. Max contracts funded by the very fans. They spent 2 years insulting. They're essentially asking Clark's fan base to pay premium prices while getting lectured about not being real basketball supporters. The moratorium isn't a temporary negotiating strategy. The union is holding the entire league hostage until they get exactly what they want. They're willing to sacrifice the biggest growth period in WNBA history to make a point about player compensation. The same people who tried to erase Clark from the conversation now expect her success to fund their retirement plans.
They ranked her below players with far less impact.
Every company in the country would love to go viral every day for free marketing. If they knew how to do it, they'd all be viral every day. Like, you just don't know. Is it authentic? It touches people. There's a tentacle of emotion involved, and suddenly some small town kid goes viral, or a singing frog. Who knows?
Here's where things get really messy. Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier are supposed to represent WNBA players during these contract negotiations. They're union leaders fighting for better pay and working conditions. They sit across from league executives, demanding millions more in salary cap, space, and player compensation. But they're also co-founders and owners of Unrivaled, a completely separate basketball league that directly competes with the WNBA. Let that sink in for a minute. The same people negotiating against the WNBA are building their own rival basketball operation. Stewart and Collier launched Unrivaled as a direct alternative to playing overseas during the WNBA off-season. They position themselves as innovative leaders creating new opportunities for women's basketball. They raised funding, secured venues, and recruited top talent to join their venture.